Okay, so we're going to start sitting down. It's not going to be long on the ground, but it's just to get us grounded and here to start our warm-ups, okay? So if you feel comfortable, just shutting down the eyes. And if not, you can just have a gentle gaze at the floor. Just shutting down those eyes. Feeling the ground supporting your bottom, your feet. Let's take 3 breaths together. Let's inhale and exhale. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, making a sound if we feel like it. And one more, all together. Inhaling through the nose, breathing into the lungs. And exhaling through the mouth. Awesome. All right, let's just lift our, bring out our legs in front of us. So sitting up nice and tall, hands supporting our bodies on either side of our hips. Let's point those toes, opening up through the tops of the ankles and flex, spreading out the toes, creating little gaps between each of your little toes, and then point and flex. Really getting into those calves behind the knees, all those little ligaments and tendons, and then pointing one last time. Nice and gentle and delicate with yourself. Going where you need to go today. And flex. Wow, wonderful. Okay, just shaking that out. Let's turn over on all fours. So knees and hands. I'll go this way. Okay. So the tops of the feet on the mat or the toes, depending up, it's up to you. Hands nice and wide, the fingers nice and wide. The pads of the hands digging into the floor. All right. So the knees are under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're just going to do some cat and cow to really get into your spine here. So let's drop that belly to the earth and the tailbone goes up to the sky and opening up through the throat and gazing out in front of you. And now let's curl those hips under, tucking the tailbone, lifting up the belly, chin to chest. Creating a little cave. You can wriggle those hips side to side, opening up through the side body. Pushing the ground away with your hands. And then again, let's drop the belly, sending those hips up into the air and opening up through the front of the throat. Lifting up the crown of the head. And again, you can wriggle your hips side to side, finding some juicy movements. And then again, let's drop that tailbone, curling the spine, chin to chest, pushing the ground away from the hands, wriggling if it feels good to wriggle. You can draw some circles with your hips. Oh, great. Then let's come back to neutral. And just slowly, we're going to come up to stand. Taking your time, conscious movements, and everything is yoga. So even just getting up, and being aware where you're putting your hands and feet, that's all yoga. All right. Now, we're going to do some arm warm-ups. So we're going to create some fists. put our hands into fists, all our hands up, and shoulders down and back. Feeling nice and tall, we're going to bring those arms forward, up over our head, and then behind us. A couple more times this direction. And this is just really waking us up, getting us into our upper bodies. It's almost like, you know, we'll go the other way. A great big stretch in the morning. You see kids doing it all the time, and sometimes as adults we forget to just wake up our bodies like this. Amazing. So you can release that. So you can roll those shoulders back, relax the hands. Now we're just going to get into our neck. Another thing that we tend to do with all of our gadgets is the back of the neck stays long and the front goes short. So we're just going to try and create a little bit more of that, how the spine naturally is, and work with our neck. So again, you can close down the eyes, keep them open if that's your vibe, go for it. Okay, so let's take a breath in. Let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder, and you can breathe out. Just make sure your shoulders are not hyped up, they can just relax. And you're creating wonderful space through the left side of the neck, all the way down the shoulder and arm, all the way to your fingertips. Nice deep breaths here. Finding space in your breath and space in your body. Checking your shoulders again, making sure that they're not riding up. Okay, let's come back to center and let's go the opposite direction. So inhale and exhale. Noticing maybe one side is different to the other, and that's totally fine. And totally normal. Might just be what arm you use more, what side you sleep on. You're perfect just the way you are. We're just creating whatever space that needs to be created today in our bodies and in our minds. Check in with your shoulders again. Beautiful. Back to center. Let's drop our chin to our chest now. Making sure that our whole upper body is not leaning forward. We're actually standing really nice and tall and straight, and it's just a conscious movement of the chin to chest. And you should feel the stretch all the way from the base of your skull all the way down your back on either side of your spine. A nice elongation there. Great, and then coming back to center. Now we're just going to drop the head back. Again, checking with the shoulders, making sure they're not high up. And here I like to do a slight micro roll of the neck. It's just a really passive, beautiful massage that you're giving yourself. Deep breaths here. Oh yeah. And then back to center. Woo! Okay, that's the warm-ups done. Let's get into a sun salutation here. So feet near the front of your mat, and you're going to face the front of your mat. Just feeling your feet on the ground. You can spread out those toes, lift them up, put them down. Feeling really grounded and rooted, like you're a tree. You're rooting into the ground that's supporting you. Okay. Let's bring those arms up overhead, palms facing forward. So now we're in a nice neutral spine. Now we can send those hips a little bit forward, so we've got a slight back bend. Looking up to the sky, and breathe. Let's send those hips back in line. We're neutral again. Let's send the arms up and over, folding at the hips. Watch out for any obstacles you might have in front of you, like I've got. Folding down over. Now, having a slight bend in the knees. Letting that head hang. Nice and heavy. You nod, yes. Shake, no. So even with our bent knees here, we're creating that length in the hamstrings and the backs of the thighs and the backs of the glutes. Now let's plant those hands on either side of the feet and take the right foot back. Okay? Let's drop the right knee, uncurl those right toes. Now we're in a nice low lunge. So you're looking out ahead of you, not looking down or up, you're just looking at eye level here. And I like to do little bits, like little wriggles here and there, to just see what space you've got and what feels good for you. Great. Planting those hands down, curling the back toes, lift that back knee, send the left foot back to meet the right. Now we're in a high plank. So lift your belly button to your spine, zipping up through those legs, and we're creating a little bit of heat in the body. And if your bottom is up in the air, bring it down in line with the crown of the head and the heels. All right, now planting those knees down. We're going to plant the chest down and the forehead. And then we're going to swoop up, lifting up that chest. Eye gaze right in front of us. Waking up this front of the body, our first back bend. Again, this is awesome for if you've been sitting at your computer or in the car all day. Okay, let's open up through the hips. So let's just look over our right shoulder to our right heel. Back to the front. Over the left shoulder to the left heel. Back to the front. Okay. Let's bring those hips back. Curl those toes. Planting the hands down. I'm going to lift our hips up into the air. We're in down dog. Melting that heart towards the thighs. Generous bend in the knees if you feel like it. Pedaling those legs out. Nice deep breaths here. And then we're going to bring that right foot up between the hands, planting it down. Left knee plants on the ground. Uncurl those toes. And again, we're in a nice low lunge here. So eye gaze right in front of you, and you're just wriggling those hips, seeing where you can find a nice juicy spot and where it feels good. Beautiful. Curling those back toes, lift the back knee, bring the left foot to the right, meet the front of the mat. And again, you might have a nice bend in the knees here. I'm going to do a beautiful forward fold here, so you're nice and heavy. You're not aiming to get anywhere, you're just seeing what you can discover in your body in this moment. Nice deep breaths, really filling up those lungs and then just letting it all go. I'm pedaling out my legs here, you can do the same. Get some more space and air in the backs of those knees. Alright, and now I want you to make a generous bend in the knees wherever you are, and we're slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll up. Stacking one on top of the other. And then last bit is rolling your shoulders back, Stacking the head on top of the spine. Bringing the hands together at your chest. Closing down those eyes. Just taking note of what's going on in your body. No judgment, just awareness. Maybe there's sensations, heat. Maybe you can hear your heart and your ears pumping away blood, circulating all through your body. Just noticing whatever you've got. Maybe you feel really still and wonderful. All right, letting go of those hands, shaking out whatever you need to shake out. Okay, we're going to do some side stretching here, and then we're going to do a pyramid pose. So, meet me in the center of your mat or the center of whatever space you're in. Feet together. Again, feeling that same rooted, that like as if we're growing roots out of the base of our feet into the earth. Nice and grounded and stable and supported. Then I want you to go nice and tall. So bringing up, drawing up energy through the earth, bringing it into the body. Nice and tall. Beautiful. Okay. The hands, the palms are going to face out, shine outwards. Bring them up, top of our heads. Charlie's angel fingers at the top. Okay, let's breathe in all together. And exhale, bending to the left. Not bending, but stretching. The hands go to the left. Creating a bit of space in this body, in this side body. Oh. And then back to center. And then up again. And exhaling to the right. And this is just a little exercise of curiosity for you. And then back to the center. Let's release those arms. Shine them out to the front. And just seeing if you feel any taller, if you feel any longer. Awesome. All right, let's now do the pyramid pose. So, what we're going to do, I'm standing lengthways on my mat. My right foot's going to be forward, my left foot's back. The toes are facing the front of the mat, of the right foot. The left foot, the toes are facing sort of the corner of the mat or a little bit wider. Okay, now again, rooting those feet down into the ground. Let's draw energy up through the earth. Our hands, we're going to interlace them behind us. So this is where, you know, if we've been hunched over at the computer all day, this is where we get to undo that a little bit. So, if this is too intense for you, your hands might be like this. You can just spread out the wrists. And even if that's too intense, hands on the hips. You know, it's all good. Wherever you're at is perfect. Okay, so we're rooting down through that back foot. The front foot's got a slight micro bend in it. Let's lift up through the crown of the head, and we're lifting up through the chest. Okay, now we're slowly going to fold at the hips, sending the tailbone back and the crown of the head forwards. Okay. So now you should be in a flat back position. There might be a micro bend in that front leg, and that's great. Let's take a deep breath in here. Exhale. Relax those arms. Bring them forward. Relax the neck, melting down over the front leg. So this is going to get into the backs of the thighs, the backs of the front leg, into the hips. You can rest your hands either on your front leg or onto the ground. Really getting into those backs of the legs. All right, let's do the hands to the hips now, and slowly, with a bend in the knees, lifting up. Amazing. All right, let's swap sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. So the left toes are facing the front of the mat, and the right toes are facing the corner or a little bit wider. And again, let's interlace those fingers behind us. Opposite thumb on top now, if you can remember. Maybe you can't. It's just the one that feels a little bit weird. Okay, so now, opening up through that heart, lifting up the crown of the head nice and tall, drawing up energy from the base of the feet, from the soles, up through the legs, up through the belly, lifting up the torso. Amazing. Okay, let's fold at those hips. Tailbone goes back, crown goes forward. Now and there's a slight micro bend in that front knee. When you're in a flat back position, let's pause here. Let's take a breath. And exhale. Slowly rolling forward, relaxing those arms, releasing them, sending them down to the earth or down to that front foot, the calf muscle. You can straighten out that knee a little bit if you need to get more into the stretch. Melting that head, keeping it heavy. Whew, I almost lost my balance just there. Don't do that. Or if you do, don't worry about it. My left side is a lot tighter than my right. You might notice that, and that's totally fine. Our bodies, the sides are different. Let's put those hands on the hips and gently roll up. Slight micro bend in that front knee to do this. Whew. Stepping those feet together. Gonna face the front of the mat now. Feet a little bit apart. Rolling those shoulders back, palms facing forward. Let's take a deep breath in all together. And exhale. Feeling the wonderful benefits of today's 25-minute practice. Okay. Let's put the hands together at heart center. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I hope you just have a brilliant rest of the day. Thank you so much to MOIRA for throwing this wonderful event. And I'll see you all again soon.